the night begins. Whispers of power beneath your skin. Sisters of fate with spells in hand, guard the living, haunt the dead. A god in the dark, with a predator's grin, steps through chaos, drawing you in. Demons and hunters, illusions of might. Only the witches can survive the night. Supernatural Wicca, the moonlight bleeds, magic and danger, the world needs peace, bloodlines and secrets, a family's fight, through fire and shadow, we own the night. Rituals, all sigils carved in stone, power and vengeance, they're never alone. In hell's eight hunts, but he can't contain the witch's fury, the godly reign. Magic blood in the fight for right. Supernatural Wicca rises, reigns alright.
Interior abandoned warehouse. Dracula stands calmly in the center of the room as Dean, Sam, and Van Helsing enter. Dean: "We're here for the girls you manipulated." Dracula: "I manipulated no girls." Dean: "That's not what Van Helsing says." Dracula: "I am here to protect them. Before you try to take them, maybe you should talk to them. I protect them from abusive forced marriage." Van Helsing: "I've had enough of this." Van Helsing lunges at Dracula. Dracula effortlessly disarms and floors him. Sam and Dean cast spells. Dracula withstands them easily. Dracula calmly: "My fight isn't with the two of you. Leave." Suddenly Van Helsing, enraged, launches an attack, straight at Sam. Dracula flashes forward, shielding her. He takes the hit himself. Dean shouting, "What the hell?" Van Helsing: "Quick, attack him now." Dean instinctively fires another burst of magic. It hits Dracula. Dracula dissolves into mist and vanishes. Dean: "What the hell was that? Why did you attack my sister?" Sam: "More important, why did Dracula protect me?" Van Helsing: "That's how he manipulates women. I know his tricks, and I knew you wouldn't be in danger. He's trying to gain your trust. Don't be fooled." Dean: "And what if he wasn't fast enough? What if that blast hit Sam?" Back room, the girls. Sam, Dean, and Van Helsing enter a locked back room. 3 terrified teenage girls huddle together. Sam: "We're here to save you." Girls crying, "Please don't hurt us. Please don't take us back." Van Helsing: "They're still under Dracula's influence. Their minds are twisted. We need to take them home to their husbands." Dean: "Is it true?" Van Helsing: "Is what true?" Dean: "What Dracula said. Are these girls victims of forced marriage?" Girl number 1 trembling: "Yes, In our community, once you turn 16, a man chooses you. You can't say no. Dean. So it's true? Van Helsing. Don't be ridiculous. Dracula corrupted them, twisted their minds, made them run from their husbands. Sam. Are they forced to marry these men or not? Girl number 2. Please help us. We were kidnapped when we were 10. Van Helsing furious. I saved them from a life of sin, from the corruption of modern society. I returned them to purity. I gave them purpose, marriage. Dracula is trying to steal them away from God, from our community, from their husbands. Back into sin? Into corruption? Never. Dean. You're not taking these girls anywhere. Van Helsing. Oh, I think I am. And you, Sam, you're coming with us. Van Helsing mutters a spell. Sam and Dean collapse to the floor, paralyzed. Van Helsing smiling. Congratulations, Sam. When you visited our community today, you caught the fancy of someone who wants to marry you. You're going to be a bride. A man willing to give you a wedding ring.
Sam is in a cage with many other girls. Van Helsing, you will be saved. All of you will be saved. You are corrupted, manipulated. You are very lucky. There is a man who wants you. Sam, go fuck yourself. She spits in Van Helsing's face. Van Helsing turns to another girl. You are corrupted beyond help. He looks at her forced marriage husband. You must do what you must. Husband, yes, Dr. Van Helsing. Chops off her head. Van Helsing, it is a mercy kill. To put her out of her misery. Sam is furious. Van Helsing looks at Sam. If I can't save you, I will put you out of your misery too.
Int. Abandoned warehouse, lower level night. The stairs creak as Dean descends alone. The air hums, not with electricity but something older. A faint golden glow pulses in the darkness. Dean tightens her grip on the anti-vampire blade. She rounds a corner and freezes. Dracula sits cross-legged on the floor, torso bare, cloak around his waist. A deep gash across his ribs glows like molten metal. Sheets of yellow Taoist talismans float in the air around him, burning softly without turning to ash. His hands move in slow circles, drawing the gold light back into his body. Dean. What the hell am I looking at? Dracula's eyes open. They are not blood red, they shimmer like moonlit water. Dracula calmly. Down. The healing ritual. Dean raises the weapon anyway. Why didn't you fight back? You could have killed us. Dracula. My war is not with you, Dean Winchester. He winces, not from the wound, but from the interruption, like a monk pulled out of meditation. Dean. You protected Sam. Dracula, quietly. Yes. Dean. Why? She's a hunter. You're supposed to be the monster. Dracula lets out a soft, almost tired laugh. Dracula. 500 years in this land and still your people use that word so easily. Dracula places a hand over the wound. The light fades, the skin seals. He rises slowly, elegantly, like someone who learned discipline before he learned language. Dracula. I came from the east during the Ming dynasty. I was a priest of the Wudong sect, sworn to protect those who could not protect themselves. Dean. You're a monk? Dracula. Taoist. We follow the way. And the way forbids cruelty, especially toward the innocent. Dean stares, unsure what to believe. Dracula continues. Back then, Europeans thought lightning was demons, illness was curses, and my chi practices? A bitter smile. To your eyes, I became a vampire. Dean. Then why help those girls? Dracula's expression hardens, righteous, ancient. Dracula. Because I have seen too many girls thrown into cages and called wives. Because men like Van Helsing have hunted me for centuries. Not for what I am, but for what I oppose. He steps closer. Dracula. He steals children. I free them. Dean's jaw tightens. She lowers the weapon slightly. Dean. Sam. They took her. They're planning to marry her off. Dracula. I know. Dean. I need your help. Dracula bows his head slightly, not obediently, but with solemn respect. Dracula. Then we go together. Not as hunter and monster, but as two warriors against a greater evil. Dean hesitates, then nods. Dean. All right. But if you betray us, Dracula smiles faintly. I will not. I have protected girls from forced marriage for centuries. I will not stop now. Talismans flare around him, swirling like golden leaves. Dracula. Come. Your sister doesn't have much time.
Dean and Dracula walk through the dark, heading toward the exit of the warehouse. Only the faint glow of Dracula's talismans flickers around them. Dean. All right, I gotta ask. That original novel, Dracula, any of that actually happen? Dracula glances sideways, amused. Dracula. It is Van Helsing's truth. Dean. He says you corrupted Lucy and Mina, turned them, manipulated them. Dracula chuckles softly, not cruelly, but with an ancient, tired irony. Dracula. Corrupted. They used that same word for the girls back there, didn't they? The moment a girl chooses freedom, suddenly she's corrupted. Dean slows down. This is not the Dracula she expected. Dean. So, Lucy and Mina, they were real? Dracula. Very real. But I was never the seductive monster the book made me into. They walk a few more steps. Dracula's voice softens. Not sad, but weighted. Dracula. Lucy was 15. Mina 16. Their parents arranged them to marry Arthur and Harker. Men nearly twice their age. Influential men. Wealthy men. But not gentle men. Dean. And the girls didn't want that. Dracula. They were in love with boys their own age. Sweet boys. Kind boys. Terrified boys. The kind that don't win against powerful families. He sighs. Centuries of frustration in one breath. Dracula. They asked me for help. They wanted to elope. Escape. I agreed. And Van Helsing? Dracula. Van Helsing saw two girls refusing the marriages he chose for them. So to him, they must have been bewitched. It was easier than admitting they were children, forced into a life they did not want. Dracula smirks, a dry, mocking smile. Dracula. And of course, the great Western storyteller twisted it all into a romance. The exotic foreigner seducing innocent maidens. He laughs, an old, bitter laugh. Dracula. In the novel, I somehow became the lover of both girls. Quite the accomplishment, A true ladies' man. Dean. But you weren't. Dracula. No, I was simply the man who opened a window and said run. The rest? Van Helsing rewrote the story to justify dragging them back. Dean absorbs that, finally fitting the pieces together. Dean. So the book is basically the story of two girls trying to escape forced marriage, except told by the guy who wanted to own them. Dracula. Now you see. He turns to Dean, his expression solemn. Dracula. History is written by the men who think they have a right to a girl's future. Dean breaks to a stop, because she realizes Sam is living the same story. Dean. Then, what happened to them? Lucy and Mina, in the real story. Dracula's face grows somber, his centuries-old weight pressing on him. Dracula. I told them to let me handle it. I begged them. A long pause. He looks distant, haunted. Dracula. But Lucy, she overheard Van Helsing plotting to kill the boy she loved. He said the boy bewitched her, that she was tainted. She tried to take matters into her own hands. Dean swallows hard. Dracula. She died, 15 years old, and she died believing she could save him. Dean. And Mina? Dracula. Mina was captured. Van Helsing said she was corrupted and needed redemption. He forced her to kill her own husband, a wooden stake through the heart. He claimed it was the only way to purify her soul. Dean. That's monstrous. Dracula, I arrived too late for Lucy, but I saved Mina. His voice softens, almost tender. Dracula, Mina went to the New World, married a good man, lived a long life, died an old woman, surrounded by people who loved her. As for Jonathan Harker and Arthur Holmwood, I killed them both.